All right, everyone, back at GOLFTEC HQ. We've got Connie here helping us out again today. And if spin is your enemy when it comes to your driver, or maybe you just hit it too high, we've got some awesome options here for you today. Our top 3 lowest spinning drivers for 2024. And honestly, we can't even really rank these ones 1 through 3 because they're so close together. And then one of them really just came out, so sample size is really small, but see some pretty promising results early, Connie. So I think first one we are going to roll into, and we'll chat about this one a little bit. But it's going to be our QI10 LS, LS being low spin from TaylorMade. So Connie, give us some feedback, looks, feel, and then we'll talk a little bit about the tech as well. What do you think when you put it down?
Definitely a smaller profile.
Yeah.
With the head, less depth in the back there. Obviously, very classic look.
Yeah, and that's really what you're going to see with a lot of these drivers is a generally smaller profile. By having the smaller profile from front to back, the depth as Connie's referring to it, that allows them to move the CG farther forward, closer to the face, which in turn, as the CG moves closer to the face, it also projects lower on the face. Lower CGs in general when it comes to a driver are going to be low spin. So really all of these are very neutral from a ball flight point of view. They don't really bias left or right. Again, they do have some adjustability, but they are very neutral vertically as well. We're talking like 1 millimeter above center. So that's pretty low in the grand scheme of things. But let's get started with our QI10 LS. So again, this is the one model that's going to have a very different face, composite face in the driver. And it does have adjustability horizontally. It is the only one that does feature the ability to move that CG a little towards the toe or a little bit towards the heel. And even on that one, Connie, we, not your best work, left it out to the right.
Yep.
And we still only see 2,000 RPM of backspin. Usually whenever we have those shots that do fan out to the right,
yep,
we're going to see people hitting it closer, like say 4,000 plus.
Right.
So to present the club face and hit it in a spot that's going to fade a little bit, which is certainly not your standard.
No.
To have the low spin be that low, again, that's pretty wild. Give me thoughts on that one, though. Composite face is definitely different than the rest of the market.
Yeah, for sure. The feel of the face is very forgiving, in my opinion, very different to the Callaway. Again, I play that normally, so also once you put it down, that face looks a bit more open than a lot of the other drivers. So the way that TaylorMade sit now.
And then there's 2 things that I liked about the QI10 is, again, this is their, I want to say, 3rd generation whenever it comes to the composite face. So back with Stealth and Stealth 2, I think it's improved every year from a feel point of view. It's feeling less and less composite every year, I feel like. But I also like they added, let me show the camera real quick, Connie, they added this basically silver line to the top of the club, which when I first looked at it, I didn't think I would like, but honestly, when you have the black face, or excuse me, the black head and the blue face, I found that making that silver line makes it really easy to aim the face whenever I'm setting up to the tee. So a feature that I didn't think I'd like, I actually appreciated that one when I put it down to hit it. Let's move into number 2, though, and again, this will be one that you are a little more familiar with. This will be our Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke. So we tested the Max D as one of our most draw bias drivers. The Triple Diamond model is going to be one of our lowest spinning. So we've got a 14 gram and a 2 gram weight. You can go front to back, back to front. When you put it in the back, makes it a little higher launching, a little more high spin, still low spin driver, just not crazy low. We're testing them with the weight in the front to see how low we can make these, and then just for reference, they're all 9-ish degree stiff shafts. So tell me about that one, Connie. What looks good? What doesn't look so good, if anything?
We also still have that line at the top. I think a lot of the drivers nowadays are doing very similar things.
Yep.
Definitely does, like you said, help you line up that face. This one's the kind of the depth of the face or the club head is a lot more than that QI10.
Yep, maybe a little bit of a contrast between the titanium portion of the face that you can still see, or the front of the club, and where that meets the composite body, and that's really the sort of alignment aid, if you will, that you are referring to with that. Okay, let's get a swing out there. And again, CG's pretty much neutral heel to toe. We do see it a couple millimeters, maybe 1 millimeter above center in the setting we have. And it's also worth noting, whenever you do, so we have a little draw now. Yeah, we broke 1,000, not by much. So it's definitely, again, not what you're going to be looking for if you're hitting this on the course. But again, if you suffer from way too much backspin, and then we could do something to get you to lower it. Again, 1,200 is way too low. But if we could make that happen, then you're heading in the right direction. But But again, as we move the CG forward, not only do we lower spin, we lower the CG. It tends to make these drivers a little bit less forgiving than when we move the CG to the rear. So there's always a balancing act of lowering spin and increasing forgiveness, and then that's where fitting comes into play. All right, last one, and this one I think may take the crown once we just get more and more samples in our base here. But this is the new GT4 from Titleist, replacing the TSR4, and similar, adjustable weight in the front and the back. Keeps the CG very neutral heel to toe, but it is very low. We only have it, again, about 1 millimeter above center, and really low in the MOI, about 4100. It's about where all of these are. So these are not meant to be super forgiving drivers. MOI is just one part of it, but those off-center hits, you're definitely going to get a little more twisting, a little bit more gearing. So these are really designed for CG closest to the face, increase your ball speeds as much as we can, lower your spin as much as we can.
I have to say, first look at this is probably the smallest profile out of all three of these drivers. The kind of finish of that is very classic. It's almost like back to the original drivers 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Back when they first started making drivers?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Titleist is always going to have more of a traditional look, especially even when you get into the GT2s, and GT3 is a little smaller this year, but GT2 a little bigger, but still has just a very classic look. And then again, if anybody who's loved a Titleist driver, I think you're still going to love the look and feel of this guy. And then honestly, in the TSR line last year, I moved into a Titleist driver for the first time in like 20 years. So I'm pretty excited with the GT line to get a little more time behind the wheel and really just see how they perform. But that being said, let's put one out there with the GT4. See if we can get one under 1,000 backspin.
Oh, that one was a little off the heel, though.
A little bit off the heel, yeah, so we got 2,300 on that one. So again, similar story though. For ones that you do tend to hit off the heel, they're going to tend to want to fade more and spin a little bit more. So for a little bit of a heel shot to still be, like if you're playing golf, even 2,300 is probably still even a little bit lower than you want. It'd be fine, but ideally probably want closer to, like, say, 2,500. How's that one though, Connie, as far as just feel when you hit it?
I actually like it.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've played a Titleist driver. I think I might switch to one and try it out.
Yeah, I'm excited to try out the GT line again this year. The GT4 and the TSR4 are pretty similar as far as the profile is concerned, but in some of the GT2 especially, I feel like that's the one that's going to fit a bunch of people. But again, if you're a low or a high spin player, GT4 might be worth a shot. But again, all these clubs, especially if you're a high speed player, but even if you're a low speed player and you need some reduction in your backspin, they're all worth a shot if you're just grabbing something off the shelf. But if you want to do it the right way, what you need to do, log on to golftec.com and find a GOLFTEC coach near you. But Connie, thanks again for helping us out.
Sure, no worries.